Hey, so I'm Hagen, and this is my Project 2 introduction for QM238. So the first thing I did for my project was I imported all the basic functions I needed into Jupyter Notebook. So I imported pandas, I imported Seaborn, which I needed for my heat map and my box plot, and I imported matplotlib.pyplot for those graphs. So the next thing I did was I read the given CSV file by using pd.readcsv, and then I displayed that data frame. I then used the shape function to provide the dimensions. You see I used df.shape. I then used the .describe function to provide a statistical summary of the data. I used the function .dtypes to see the different types of data inside each attribute. I then described each attribute. Most of these were self-explanatory, but some of them weren't. The hashtag means the age of the person. The work class is what type of work the person does. The FNLWGT function is the final weight, which means how many people were represented by this column. The education attribute means the highest level of education of that person. Education number, how many years did that kind of person spend in school? Marital status, what was that person's marital status? Were they married, divorced, single, etc.? Occupation, what is their job? Relationship, are they a wife? Are they a husband? Etc. Sex, are they male or female? Capital gain, do they have any capital gains? If so, how much? Do they have capital loss? If so, how much? Hours per week, obviously how many hours they work. Native country, country they are from, and then salary, which is for some reason spelled without an A. It has two different it has two different inputs, less than or equal to 50K or greater than 50K as their salary. Then I saw how many missing values by doing the dot is in a function and then the dot sum function. And I got, excuse me, I got that there were 0 missing values. The next thing I did was to see how many duplicate rows there were. I used dot duplicated, dot sum. There were only 24 duplicated rows, which isn't bad, but anyway, I went ahead and I dropped those duplicate rows by doing the dot drop duplicates function. As you can see, it went from 32,561 rows to 32,537 rows, so it did drop some. I did, then I used like I said before, the dot box plot function and the plt dot show function, which gave me my box plot. As you can see, most of the outliers are in the final weight attribute. Then I generated my correlation matrix to see if there were any correlation. However, I found there was not much correlation between numeric values. The next thing I tried to do was turn a binary attribute into a categorical attribute. So I tried to do this for the age attribute. I believe I did it correctly. I contacted Dr. Shad about this, but he did not answer me back. However, I did get this error that the value is trying to be set on a copy of his last run data frame. So I believe I did it correct, just the data wouldn't let me do it. Anyway, for question 10, I created my heat map. Just like my correlation matrix, I found that there was not much correlation between the numeric data. So moving on to part 2, I believe that this problem will be an example of multi-class classification problem, because there are multiple races, therefore there are multiple classes of data which can be clustered. So I think for this project, I'm planning to use one versus rest classification because I want to cluster races based on the rest of the set. For example, I want to see what makes it different for maybe uh, the this sounds horrible, but the white race versus the rest, and then the black race versus the rest, or maybe the Asian American race versus the rest in this particular data set based on census data, because the race attribute is our target for this project. Thank you.